Hi, everybody. This is welcome to the devlog. Today, we're going to be taking a closer look at resource management within Kamioza Chapter 1 Azaria. And what I've done recently, we've had our last couple of devlogs where I was showing you guys uh, the resource management for wool. Today, we're going to take a look at what we've done for farming. And so, in the village, when you start the game, you are either a member of the village or the city. In this case, in the demo that we're working on, you're going to be part of the village, and so you have three little planter boxes that you build or you craft your plants in, and each plant takes something different to manifest it. And so this one right here, it says plant red seeds in the garden box first. Watered plants take about a minute to sprout. So each one of the different plants takes a different amount of time, and this one takes red seeds. So we're going to use our little trusty dev cheat codes. We're going to get some uh, red seeds, and we're going to plant them in our box so I can show you what's happening. And we're going to get oops, and we're going to get some water, and we're going to look, and our timer has started, and it's going to take about a minute to sprout. And so as the timer's running, this is the code that we've been doing lately. As the timer's running, I can go about the world, and I could be doing something else. I could be looking at one of the puzzles or trying to solve one of the puzzles that we're playing, or I could be on on some other sort of journey, like a side quest. Let's see. Okay, so he's already given me the quest earlier. So I could be solving those things, and then I'm looking for my timer to finish. And just cruising around the world here, see if it's gonna end anytime soon. I'm picking some mushrooms. Oh, it's finished. Okay, so my minute has passed. I'm gonna go back over to my village. I'm going to show you one other thing here that makes traveling around a little easier too when it comes to resource management. All right, so this says it's still going, but I think I need to water it. I think the message is, so cheat code again. And now I have the plants. Oh, I got my resource right here. I could take it if I want to. But it's wanting me to get a machine to process the plant, and so I can do that. Let's see here. Just take that on. Let's see. Okay, so the farming machine is called the distal hydrolator, and I can drop it right here on the shelf, and it's going to produce this red distilled hydrozol. And so it does that. It takes about a minute to produce, maybe I think this is only like 30 seconds, and I will get my resource. You can see I've done this earlier here. This is the red hydrozol that I'm producing, and each bundle of plants produces 2 bottles here. Okay, cool. So I've got my hydrozol. Um, you'll notice that I'm like, moving around to get different parts of a craft. I might have to go get a bucket of water. So what I did was I set up one of our little alarm jump points, that if I needed to go to water, I can go and get water here with an empty bucket. So if I just get if I have a bucket, I think it's, yeah, I can just make it a full bucket in the ocean there, and now and I can bounce around that way, and I can set up these alarms. For instance, if I just want to always come back here, and I have an alarm spell or an alarm object, let's see. I've got one here. So I can drop the little crystal up on my UI, and this really does help quite a bit with. And so now I can kind of bounce around. I can go here, I can go here, and I'm able to sort of string together a series of locations where I'm doing resource management. One of the places I like to often set a jump alarm for is um, the mines, because I'm always running out of nystrom. Nystrom is this resource I've talked about that we always use, and so if I want to, I can actually reset one of my alarms. Once it's silver, I can take it off, and I can go back to that place, and I can set it. If I want it right there, I can just drop it up on there, and now I can go between the ocean and the mines. I could jump between manufacturing in the city, which is done. One of the manufacturing areas, like right here, where I could make a shovel, and I need these chemicals, and so I could drop another alarm here. Um, and then now I can jump between any of the places that I might need to use resources to create things. So anyway, it's just a really good way to bounce around. But the last thing I want to show you before I take you to Blender for this object is, now that I've got my red hydrosol, I need to use the hydrosol uh, I need to exchange it basically, or I need to distill it down into these chemicals. And so the chemicals are used to build objects. You can kind of see how that works. So I might drop it in here, and I also need a yellow and a green one to make this configuration for the chemical. But we'll do one that I think it just takes one red one, which is this basic one here, and we'll drop it in there, and I get a chemical back. Okay, what I wanted to show you is just kind of a little tiny Blender tutorial. I know some people are super good at Blender. I'm okay. I've learned a lot through necessity, but I wanted to show that little centrifuge that we were just looking at. I wanted to show you the project and how I made that. And so this is pretty much a cylinder that has been, and we'll just kind of look at it like this, that has been extruded up, and then a sphere on top of it that's been flattened. And then actually I went in and I cut out each, by face. I cut out each of the different sections and gave them different, and I tried to make it as equal as I could with three different sections, and make it give it three different materials for the red, the green, and the yellow hydrosol. And then I made a little animation. So I did the little animation. It's just a really short keyframe animation that spit out 30 frames, and then we take that in for the machine where you make the hydrosol. But what I thought I would show you, in case you don't know, is a way to make those little, in the game, you saw those little divots that are on top of the centrifuge for putting in the bottles. And so here are my bottles over here. I'm going to select this. I want to put the Boolean in this object. So I'm going to select my group of bottles that I have positioned and grouped together, and I'm going to set it up to where they look about right. This one's a little too low. If I were to do this for real, I would move it forward. But what I really want to show you is just sort of how to construct the Boolean. And I think on a previous attempt, I was too deep. and it cut out more than I wanted. So let's try that. We'll give it a shot here. And what I do is I select the object, and then I go to the modifiers, and then I'm selecting the operand type is object, and then the Boolean is the thing that I'm going to extract from the other object. And so I select the bottles, and then I should be able to, oh, well, let's see here. Let me go back here. I also need to apply it. Don't forget to apply it. Then I select the bottles. Ah, perfect. Okay, and so now I have nice little cut, and then when I look at it from my camera, you can see that it's there. It shows up enough that it will indicate to the player that something needs to be put in that. And then I don't actually use the holes in the rotational piece, and that's just basically because it would be way too many different sprites, and I actually think it looks better when you drop something in and then it disappears into the centrifuge, which was kind of how we were playing it. So I hope that gives you an idea of how you use a tool like Blender to build some simple game assets. Hi, well, that about ends it for our devlog number 4. Hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe. Leave us a comment. It really helps morale around here. We're working towards a demo, so hopefully we'll have something up soon where everybody can play. We'll be doing some Twitch stuff with it, and we're really excited about that. Look for our next devlog. We'll be probably talking about graphics in our next devlog. As you can see by the red outlines, we're working more on the GPU side of things, and so some of the things that we'll be doing are kind of exciting. So anyway, talk to you soon. Thanks a bunch for watching.